Who's that I see walking in these woods? Why, it's Little Red Riding Hood. Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Listen, Little Red Riding Hood. I don't think little big girl should walk in these spooky old woods alone. Oh, what big eyes you have. The kind of eyes that drop a man. So just to see that you don't get chased. I think I ought to walk with you far away. What more you have? Someone bad, so until you get to grandma's place, I think you ought to walk with me. Be safe. I'm gonna keep my sheep suit on. Tell you you've been shown that I can be trusted with you alone. Oh, Little Red Riding Hood. I hold you if I could, but you might think I'm a big bad wolf, so I won't. Oh, what a big heart I have. So better love you with Little Red Riding Hood. Even bad can be good. I'll try to keep satisfied. Just to walk close by your side. Maybe you'll see things my way. Get to grandma's place. Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Oh, I mean bad. Hey, everybody. I know. It's a funny topic tonight, right? Ooh. Thought it was perfect for the full moon. What do you think? It's supposed to be a full moon tonight. Sun hasn't quite went down in my area. I don't know the rest of you. Um, but let me say some hellos. Hello, Will. Good to see you, honey. 71, my extraordinary evil twin. Texas, my brother from another mother. Paige, good to see you, sweetheart. You're going to like this because, this is a drama free zone. The full moon, we all need a place like that. Hey, so done with it. We all need a drama free area on the full moon. So everybody knows about crazy out here on the full moon. Let's see. I'm gonna just play some old videos I have that I made. Um, it's much easier doing that than going back over the material. Um, and it leaves us all more free to comment and stuff like that. Um, if anybody would like to come up on panel, I'll let whoever wants up on panel can come up, and I'll put the invite out if anybody wants up. Hey, AJ, good to see you. If anybody would like to come, they can come up because I'm just replaying. So I'm not going to be. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. I'm not a pro at this like you are, AJ, because you're really good at this.
Forgive me, like my enunciation on stuff. Not yet. Hold on. Are you getting sound? I was checking to see if you were getting sound. Does it sound okay? 71? Okay, now. So it must have been where I had it in that. Hold on. And I'll have to pull it back then if you weren't getting sound. Sorry. Oh, well, I have to fix that. Look at me, debacle, debacle, debacle. Sorry. Nope. 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 Actually, that just shows don't go messing with stuff if you're a redhead. Can Oh, I'm gonna bring Willis up. Hey, what's up, Will?
What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm on my phone, so it's a bitch. I hate the StreamYards on a phone's always the worst.
Really?
But
I've only paneled up on my phone.
you do? You panel on the phone?
Yeah, I
Oh
panel
wow!
on.
How you guys do it? I can't do it. I've tried a couple times. It's just really hard.
Well, I can do it on my computer, like um, run a panel,
Right.
but I don't do it on. I mean, but if I'm joining a panel, I get on a phone.
Gotcha. So how's everybody doing?
Hey,
How's the
you,
weather where you're at?
hot. It's like 90.
Yeah, it's like the same here. It's like 95 or 94.
Yeah, but I live like on the Nebraska Iowa border, so it's like swampland here.
Wow. Is it
So
like
it's like,
humid?
huh?
Is it humid?
Oh hell yeah! It's all swampy, like it's all green here, and it's like, dude, I have to go out and cut my yard, like not cut my yard, but like trim my hedges and everything else every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I used
Or
to
it,
live in the I had
it
to
looks
do all that.
Oh, it looks like a jungle otherwise. If I don't do it every 2 weeks, it'll get like 6 feet high.
We do that for someone does that for us.
Huh?
Someone does that for us.
No, we only have someone who mows the grass.
Yeah, so all we have to trim. That's it.
I do all the other
So how
stuff.
much grass do you have? Do you got like a big yard or?
It's not that huge of a yard. It's probably about, I don't know. Uh, well, average lot size,
Right. I don't miss mowing the lawn. In California, you don't have to do it. We have all like gravel. It's like a
I was
gravel
like,
lawn.
I know. I'm tempted to do that because you can still do that here. But
Yeah.
then, I mean, I've had beds that have like rocks in them, like I have gravel and rocks. And then after, you have to replace those every like 3 years.
Right.
But weeds will come through that too. So, okay. I'll start with this again. Hopefully we have sound. Of course, 71 will tell us if we don't.
Yeah, I don't hear sound on my end. I'm not sure if it's my phone or I can see it playing.
Then it's not sound. Yeah, then it's that. Hold on.
I can check my computer. I got the show loaded up on my computer. Let's see if it's playing.
What?
Let's see if it's playing. No, yeah, it's just all I hear is me.
What?
The sound's out where you got to do. You go in the share tab, just click the little box on the left. Or it'll say share audio.
Hold on.
71 says there's no sound. Oh my gosh. Yeah, click the like button as 71 says. Hit that, smash that like.
Sorry about that. I had to okay a sleepover. No sound, 71. It's all your fault.
Yeah, 71. What'd you do? Did you hack the stream?
She probably
Don't
did.
hack the stream.
If I know her, she probably did. We'll get back to it though. Your what? Your 16.00 shit
That doesn't
speaker.
make sense. My 16.00 shit speaker goes in and out. I don't know it.
well, Texas, were you getting sound?
All I could hear was myself. I couldn't hear nothing to the audio. If you share it, there's a little teeny weeny box you got to check, and then the audio will play.
Yeah, I thought I did, but
Because I saw the thing moving, like the mouth, like you see us moving, but there's no sound. So you forgot to check the box, Ginger. Check
I
that
probably
box.
did. I'm glad that I have an expert on deck. Okay, I'll remove it, and then there we go. And then I will just go back to, so I was on for like 6 months before I figured out even how to screen share.
Really? Holy shit!
I was. I mean, I just didn't screen share. I just talked like an idiot, you
Yeah,
know?
they changed it all now. It used to say screen share, now it says present. It's really weird.
Yeah.
When I first changed it, I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
We'll see if that works. Forbidden meat. In Kentucky and
Is it
Tennessee,
working?
they have the Beast of LPL, which is land between the lakes, and it's on the Kentucky side. And Tennessee has Werewolf Springs, where they've sighted these cryptids, and the White Bluffs.
Yes, we have sound, 71 says.
We have sound. Good. Oh, see, and I can. And that would be around the Montgomery Bell State Park area. In Wisconsin, they have the Beast of Bray Road. And there were sightings of all these.
The eagle has landed.
We're going to go ahead and take a little walk back in time. These creatures, I guess you could call them.
Hey, you guys want me to speed it up a little? Or is it fast enough?
Yeah, get to the juicy part. What's the juicy part? We got to hear the juice.
The juice?
Yeah, the juicy part. What's the juicy part?
I think I talk later on in this about people that were killed in Land Between the Lakes, like the bodies and stuff.
Wow.
In ancient medieval times, they spoke of the cynocephaly, a race of dog-headed people or wolf-headed people who lived outside the realms of civilized society. In these times, the cynocephaly were not considered mythical. They were considered a reality. So much that even the church and theologians and scholars talked about them and contemplated their humanity and whether they were more.
See, I can't even sound like a chipmunk. I can speed up.
They have a thing called the voice changer. You can do it. I have it.
I'm like, I can speed myself up to 2 times speed, and I still sound like, I'm like, I don't sound like a chipmunk. That's awesome.
Beast or intelligent or
so logic. This is like at 2.0?
There are legends of dog.
No, this is only at 1.5.
1.5.
In so many different ages and cultures spread out globally. Makes you wonder if this race may possibly.
If you all wonder what I sound like when I'm drinking a lot of coffee, that's me at 1.5.
What's 1.0 like? How you doing, everybody? Is it slow?
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet I sound. You guys want to hear that? Because I bet.
Yeah. Let's hear it like 0.75. 0.75 would be killer.
Like 0.75, like speed up or speed
Just slow down.
Okay, let's slow it down and see what it sounds
like.
Let's
hear a slow ginger.
And I bet it sounds like, I am the devil.
Yeah, that might be better.
Might be more spooky. You guys want to? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what it does at that.
Have existed or does exist today.
Sounds like, dude, it sounds like I'm on drugs.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to hear.
On the fringe of our unexplored or rarely traveled areas.
Explore.
Okay, we'll go lower to see if it sounds satanic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's mess with that. Let's go 0.5. Let's try that.
Ooh. Get to places mountainous, maybe.
That's like drunk talk there. For sure. Maybe that'd be about 2 6-packs.
Acceptably, accounts go as far back as 400 BC.
400 BC.
Hey, nothing like using your own material I will. I'm self-deprecating. I'll go even slower.
And
there we go. That's real. That's like 0.5, 0.25.
That is the lowest. Oh, dude.
ASMR. You got a new one. Position. That's some classy ASMR.
It's always fun to mess with these buttons. I asked the kids sound drunk if I want to. And the beauty of this is
I'm doing it with my own shit, so nobody can strike me.
Exactly. You can strike yourself.
Excuse me, I'm gonna strike myself. That ginger bitch is making fun of me. That ginger bitch is making fun of me. Oh, the subtitles?
Yeah, I did some meme the other day on my Willis channel, and I got a strike. It was a guideline strike, so I can't do anything for about 3 more days.
You know, I'm such a good girl. I've never had a strike. Well, I've got the stupid little copyright claims for music, but
Oh yeah, everybody gets those.
those are nothing. And then it's like, everybody's like, well, if you want to monetize at any point, you got to get rid of them. Not really. They just don't use those towards your monetization.
Right. I've had 3 copyright strikes and about 3 guideline violations, but I've still got my channels. You just got to wait it out.
Yeah, you just sit on it. People don't realize it's like, well, if you sit on it, and that's why a lot of people have more than one channel, so that they just like, oh,
Exactly.
I got a strike here. I'll go over to the other one.
That's what I do. I have 2.
I don't have a second, but
You should.
I'm going to do a second. Probably just call it Ginger Snaps.
No, call it Ginger's Playhouse.
What, like the movies?
Ginger's Playhouse.
Yeah.
That was really something worse.
You can tell the dark and dirty secrets and the stories.
For the horror movie title, thank you very much.
You what? Oh, Ginger Snaps is a movie title. You're right.
Yeah, it's a trilogy.
I know it's.
Funnily enough, I'm not.
Theseus described the land of India where cynocephaly inhabited the mountains and spoke no known language, yet barked like dogs. They understood the local languages, but they used sign, and they weren't able to speak it. So they would use hand gestures to communicate. Their diet consisted of raw meat. They raised livestock and established trade routes with the ruler or king of India. They preferred to sleep in caves or on the ground and were proficient hunters. They were very just, and their lifespan generally was 170 to 200 years. The famous explorer Marco Polo described a similar race of beings inhabiting the Andaman Islands, and his description was different of this certain type. He said they were vicious and barbaric vanagers that live on flesh, rice, and milk. John Mandeville, in the mid to late 1300s, described this cynocephaly as intelligent and reasonable, and some devout, except they ate their prisoners of war. And they hailed from the island of Necromera. You know, they're lucky these days that we don't eat prisoners. Yeah.
The prisoner.
Charlie, I'm going over replaying some of the old content. And they worshipped an ox for their god. On maps circa 1513, cynocephaly were indicated to inhabit the northern coast of South America. In ancient Egypt, the god Anubis, protector of braves. Hey, Charlie, does this sound like me on coffee? Lord of the underworld, and the god who escorted souls into the afterlife. Was also basically a hybrid. But he was also over animalism and chaos and order. So since he is the god of the underworld and of the dead and everything, it makes sense there's also a lot of sightings here of these creatures being sighted around graveyards. So there could be an Anubis type of connection there. And also Anubis was all about balance and scales. And I can dig that because I'm a Libra. Also, it's like I looked into it further after this, and there's a god of death or like great cemeteries and stuff like that in Aztec. An Aztec god is a dog-headed man named Zolte.
Yeah.
Augustine, a 4th century philosopher and theologian, contemplated whether this
All I can think of is the Cuba chakra, whatever they call those.
Chupacabra?
Yeah, that's it. It comes to my mind. Do you ever hear about them?
Oh, yes, the little goat suckers, right? Or blood suckers?
Yeah. They're in Mexico. They come out of the mountains.
What, dear?
Chupacabra aren't.
Yeah, I know what a chupacabra is.
No, they aren't small. They're big.
They're big?
They're
I always think of a little mangy looking freaking coyote or something.
I was like, Wesley.
I do. I mean, like, oh, or like remember, like you see those
I think of him.
images of a Tasmanian,
Yes,
not a
yes.
Tasmanian.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I think of a chupacabra, I think of Wesley.
Okay.
Mangy,
Tasmanian tigers. That's what I'm thinking
a
of,
big
you know.
version of Wesley. Not little.
Hey, Angie, good to see you, sweetheart.
Hey, Angie, how you doing?
I love
Welcome
Angie.
to the chat.
Just soulless animals or creatures with rational minds that are as deserving of salvation as humans. Yet again, we come back to balance. Rationality and thought are what makes us who we are, and not appearance that separates man from beast. St. Isidore Seville in the 5th century said since the cynocephaly communication was by barking, there were more beasts than man, so he took an opposite approach to this. 8th century, there was a book printed in the 8th century called the Libra Monstros, a catalog of wondrous creatures, stated that this cynocephaly pervert language by barking, and that language separates human from beast. And then we go even further back to 200 years after the crucifixion of Jesus and St. Christopher. A man named Reprobus was born in the land of Canaan. He was reported to be between 7 and 12 feet tall, with the head of a dog, wolf-like creature, and the body of a man. He sought out to serve the most powerful man on earth, so he served the Canaanite king for a while, until he saw the king make the signs of the cross every time someone mentioned the devil. So Reprobus assumed the devil was more powerful, so he sought out Satan and served him for a while, until Satan and Reprobus passed near a cross on the side of the road. Reprobus saw that Satan was terrified of the cross, and Satan told Reprobus that the sign of the cross filled him with fear. So Reprobus decided to seek out Christ, because he seemed like he was more powerful, or the most powerful being on earth. And during this search or quest, he ran across a hermit who taught him about God. The hermit told Retrobus to utilize his size to carry people across a dangerous river where many people died in crossing in order to get in Christ's good graces. One day, a small child asked Retrobus to ferry him across. Retrobus put the child on his shoulders and began to cross. And as he did, the child grew heavier and heavier with every step until Retrobus nearly drowned and said, "O child, how heavy thou art, it seems. I bear the weight of the world on my shoulders." The child replied, "Right, thou art. Thou bearest not only the world, but the Hi, BB, the creator of heaven and earth. I am Jesus Christ, thy King, Lord, and henceforth thou shalt be called Christophorus, that is Christ bearer." Reprobus became known as Christopher and went on to convert entire cities for the Lord. He was marked between the 3rd and 4th centuries. Cynocephaly are wise to a point. He prayed to God for the gift of speech and was granted it. So, I mean, that's a great history of where these creatures have been sighted in different places all throughout the planet at times that there was no way to communicate between civilizations. So that's where we're getting into this, like, because so many people are citing these Dogman creatures or beasts or whatever, and they're coming forward. So we're gonna hop on over for questions or what Mr. G may think. Hold on, Mr. G's going.
So I clicked on Dogman. I came up with the West Virginia Dogman paperback book.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's what was it? Sightings with Michigan Dogman. What is the Ohio Beast of Bray Road? The Beast of LBL, Land Between the Lakes. Those are 3 different.
Is there any good photos of the Dogman? Like some really good ones?
You know, they've actually shown. Let me see. I think. Let me see.
I'm searching Google. I can't find nothing good. There's a couple here, like drawings. That look interesting.
Yeah, they got drawings right and left, but I've seen that they've had. I should have pulled them up, but there's actually a few like where they caught like pictures. But the thing is, you catch these pictures, and it's usually like, the head coming around a bush. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, I've never seen a picture where you see one walking across the road or
So
something.
how do you think they have a dog, man? Does some lady have sex with a dog? I mean, what the hell is that?
And Dad. Dad.
I had to throw that out there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That'd have to be some type of evolutionary thing. I have no idea. I mean, you hear those stories about women getting kidnapped by Bigfoot, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Oh wait, leave some love for my girlfriend. I need my beauty rest. Oh, okay, BB. I know you had you had an adventurous weekend.
Yeah, we all need a rest, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. I'll try to get a hold of you tomorrow. Uh, she's a good friend of mine. 71's a good friend of mine. That's my 71's my evil twin.
Yeah, I can tell. She's like your right hand person there. Is 71 a male or female? I don't know.
A very beautiful lady.
Okay, so now I can give her a heart and not feel bad.
Right? 71. That's my girl. We've been friends for, oh gosh, almost a year and a half out here. That's
Wow, that's a long time.
that's a long time in YouTube years.
Yeah, yeah. Most people don't last, 6 months.
Really?
Well, some people they just don't get along. They'll flip flop and go to other people, and it's hard to find good friends these days.
Yeah, 71 and I are real good friends. BB and I are real good friends. I've known her for 3 years. I'm just, I do my own thing. I do stuff like this.
You stay out of the drama. I see. The drama sphere.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those places. There's Dramasphere. Isn't there also there's different I know there's different well, you would say neighborhoods, right?
Right.
I don't right?
Yeah,
Different
neighborhoods.
neighborhoods.
They call them on YouTube. They call them sectors.
I call
Different
them sectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't
I've been
stay
in all kinds of them.
I've floated around different ones. Let's see. I mean, I started in the true crime area.
Right.
I did pretty much I think I didn't even see. I used to watch videos or watch lives, but I didn't participate in.
Exactly.
I didn't start participating till almost 2.5, 3 years ago.
Right. That's probably
There you go. There you go, Cass. Communities. Communities. But
communities, sectors, whatever.
Yeah, like neighborhoods. I get
neighborhoods.
Because you just like drive through them. You're gonna visit.
I dabbled in this one community about 2 months ago. It was the most foul language. It's called the comic book community. Those people are fucking weird. If you ever get in the comic book community, those guys are the F word this, and they're talking about all kinds of dirty shit. It's like I went in there one live for about half an hour. I said, I'm not going back here.
I know they have well, there's several true crime. That's the thing. There's several different areas of true crime.
There's one guy that we're in the drama sphere, and he used to be a drama guy, and he started one. It's that JB Gunner guy.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's got some true crime channel. He's doing really well.
I had heard he did really good when he went into true crime.
Right. There's so many people doing everything. It's hard to find something new. You know what I mean?
I know. I do true crime, but I do a lot of old unsolved shit.
There you go.
I do a lot of old unsolved cases. I do, old missing.
Like the David Politis thing. That is so cool. I still follow that.
Missing yes, I love Missing 411. Missing 411. I haven't I've talked about it before on here. I've talked about Art Bell because that's kind of my thing,
Right.
I've talked about different people that he interviewed, that I found interesting. I'm like, hey, you guys check out this person, you know, because it's all out there. It's
So I
all
met
out there.
these people years ago. I went to this UFO convention. It was in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, the people, they had this one lady. She had this one little booth, you know. She had like 100 crystals and all this stuff. And it was $10,000 to buy it. I couldn't believe it. You're going to get healed by buying. It's like a whole setup, you know, like an assembly of different crystals.
Right.
They were huge. Some of them are the size of bowling balls. And then you got this foot bath you put your feet in and all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh, I can believe it.
The
I know
UFO convention's wild. You have to go to one just to check it out if you ever get one in your area.
Well, they get one like around here. We get a lot of like, what is it? Gosh, because I never, I can't remember what it's called. It's some con. Hey Nugget, what are those called where you dress up? The cons, the conventions where you dress up.
They're usually
Con,
cosplay conventions or Comic-Cons.
Comic-Cons
Cosplay conventions
or cosplay conventions. Yeah, I went. Okay, years ago I went to this like I used to be an auditor. Like an auditor at a hotel. So I went to this other, like bigger hotel for an interview for an auditor's position, right?
Right.
And when I did, they had like one of those role play, like Comic-Con kind of things going on, right?
Right.
So the room that I had, or the place I had to go to, the room I had to go to, I had to wade through all these people like that were dressed as characters. I was like, okay.
They had this thing here in San Francisco years ago when I lived there. It's called the Erotic Exotic Ball. That's the most. You couldn't believe the way the people dressed up. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's a Halloween ball, Erotic Exotic Ball, and I think they still even have it. Well, they got people these S&M gear on, and they got leashes dragging people. It was just the weirdest thing. This was 20, 30 years ago.
Wow. I could imagine it because I had a friend of mine. I mean, we've been friends forever. We dated like before I, met my husband, years before him. And it was like we were still friends. And because he traveled around, but we
Right.
always like emails or whatever, talk to each other. And it was so funny because he was like, "Oh, you got to see this," and he showed me like, "I got to send you this." I was like, "No, dude, I hope it's no peen pics. I don't need that shit, right?"
No woman wants to get that.
Nah, I'm good. I'm fine with that, dude. But he goes, no. He goes, because I liked, certain like things. I thought corsets were cool and certain clothing when we years ago when we when he lived where I live, uh, I used to do my hair like I was in the 40s or something,
Right.
I had the whole victory rolls and the dark lipstick, and I was doing that before everybody else was. And he goes, "Okay, you love that kind of thing," and this, I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "Check this out." So he sends me this picture, right? And I had to die laughing because this friend of mine, it was just so out of character for him to be wearing something like this, right?
Right.
Him and his girlfriend were dressed up like vampires. Right?
Right.
Okay, I can get over that. It's a Halloween costume party. I said, "You ain't one of those, like blood sucking people, are you?" Like, I'm not gonna shame your fetish, but
Exactly.
but he goes, "No, isn't this cool goth looking out attire?" Because it was showed. Look at the other people, and I'm looking around at the other people in the photo, and I start busting out laughing. He goes, "What's so funny?" And I said, "Dude." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Is that a dog collar you're wearing?" It was one of those collars with the little ring on it. you know.
It's got the spikes,
It had no spikes on it. It just had like, it was like a collar
right?
with a metal ring in the front. And I go, dude, I'm not stupid. I know what that is. I said, you have her put you on a leash and I was like,
Attach
whoa.
a bowling ball to that with a chain.
Right? That's what it was, just one ring that you put like a leash on. And I was teasing him about that. I said, that's funny, dude. And then he's like, send me a picture of your feet. And I'm like, you know what?
What? What is people with the foot fetish? I never understood that.
I'm like, I'm good, dude. Ain't going there.
I mean, there's people that are into that foot thing. I mean, I don't know. There's all kinds of weird things. You know, they got like foot fetishes, and there was this one I've seen. It's called pedal pumping. If you've ever heard of that one, it's where girls go in a car, like a muscle car. They rev the engine up, and these guys get off on pedal pumping. It's the weirdest fetish I've ever heard of. It does exist. You can look it up. It's called pedal pumping. They rev the engine of the car.
You know, I was watching a stream one time, and this gal was like showing some of these weird things. She had found it on the internet. Don't ask me why she was looking for it, right?
Right.
If you're finding this shit, why are you looking it up, right?
There's all kinds of stuff that out there I probably still don't know about.
And it was where it was videos of these people that had weird things like that, you know. And this guy was literally in love with his car.
Holy shit! Like really in love with it?
Like you know, I have heard of guys loving their vehicles, right?
Right.
And, you know, like you get a good wax job, right? And you know, making their car perfect and pristine, and you know, Rain-X those windows, whatever you have to do, right? This guy was loving his car.
Like, how was he loving it? Explain in detail, Ginger. Let's hear all about it.
He pulled his pants down and he laid on the car and rubbed up against it. The hood.
He got waxed off on the hood. Huh?
And it showed, because it didn't show, like, it blocked out, you know, his bum. But, right. I'm like, you looked this up?
Wow.
Because it was something about people who love their cars or something.
Yeah. It sounds just like that lady with the pedal pumping, you know.
71. I was just looking it up.
Oh, yeah? 71. You go check out pedal pumping. And you'll see like these women, you know, there's probably videos out there on it, and they just sit there and they rev the engine, and these guys all go into chat and they, you know, give them money. It's the craziest thing.
That looks cool. You're giving her ideas on how to make.
She's going to buy a muscle car now and start pumping the pedal to make some extra cash at. Rum, rum, rum.
That's right. Go get yourself a Himikuda.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, yeah, I wandered into that like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, who finds this stuff? I mean,
it's like, who makes this stuff up? I mean, who comes up with these ideas?
Well, and it was like it was an excerpt from a TV show. It showed it, and like I'm like, who, you know? And they're like, yeah, he had to wipe his hood off later, and you know,
not wipe his hood off. Oh God,
the hood on
that's
the car.
Getting graphic there, Ginger. What did you do on the hood?
Yeah, it was like, right? Okay, like where the hood, you know, like it wasn't even a really cute car or anything. It wasn't even a muscle car. To me, it looked like a freaking Vega. You know,
oh God!
I mean, if you're gonna make love to a car, it better be
at least pick a good one.
Yeah, pick a good one. I mean, you know, I'd be like, look at that.
At least
Ferrari.
get a Ferrari or something. Yeah, that's a sexy car. A Ferrari.
Right?
You know.
Yeah, rub yourself up all you want against a Ferrari, but you know, like a freaking Vega. I mean,
no.
Or a Pinto.
That's like picking the ugliest woman in the world.
Oh yeah, look at that Pinto. That really gets me going.
Pinto with maybe the wood paneling on the side.
Or oh my God, a Yugo if there's any on the
Oh,
road.
you go, I go. I remember those.
Oh my God. When I was in high school, a girl saved her money from working and bought a Yugo because they were cheap. Remember,
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
you could buy a Yugo for back in those days for it was like 12 or 1,500 bucks.
Exactly.
Girl got it, and it's like I swear to God, it worked for about a year, and when I say that, I mean roughly it worked. Um, like one of her doors kept coming off.
I think those were made in Korea, if I'm correct.
I
I think it
can't
was a Korean.
I can't remember, but like the parts were like it was, the parts to get them shipped over were worth
Oh,
more,
yeah, you can't get parts.
cost more than the car
The
did.
car, exactly.
I'm like,
It's a
dude,
disposable car. You can probably drive it for a year and you got to go buy a new one.
that's basically what it was. And here's
Yeah.
this girl, like, her dad's duct taping the doors back on and fucking windows and keep them up. She had to duct tape them. So it's like pretty soon, within a year, the car was like more duct tape than car.
Yeah, there was this car. I can't remember the name. It was maybe by AMC. It looked like a salad bowl. It's not the Gremlin. It was the other one. It's this AMC car. I forgot the name of it.
I don't know. I mean, I had a Rambler at one time.
Right.
Oh my God, that was a nice car. But that was when they made nice cars, like because it was a
Yeah,
19.
they used to have thick metal and stuff. Now it's all like paper thin.
It was a 1963.
Wow.
It was like the thing is, a guy had bought it, right, and he barely drove it and parked it in his garage,
Right.
right, and it sat in his garage for years, and I think I got it in 90, so
Right.
89 is when I got it. And I was like, I didn't have a license yet. I was like,
Yeah, 89. Those were the days, weren't they? I love that. I love that era. It was so awesome
I was in high school.
compared to now.
I was in high school in 89. So
We had a lot of fun.
Oh my God. The hair. I think I was the only girl that didn't wear a can of hairspray to, every day.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The hair, the big hair. Yep.
I was
Farrah
like,
Fawcett look.
oh, they had that freaking, it was like the higher your bangs, the better.
Yeah, it's like the 80s bands, that big hair.
Right? Oh my God. Or like when Poison, I remember when Poison first came out. And I was like, oh, those are, I like how they do their makeup. Those are some pretty girls.
Right. Pretty girls.
Those are some pretty
Those
girls.
ain't no girls.
And I know like the other people are like, oh my God, you're such a hick. Like,
Right.
Those are dudes. And I'm like, ow.
Dudes.
Gross. I wouldn't date a guy who wore more makeup and had longer hair than me.
Nowadays, that's like a normal.
That's no right. Oh, not unless it's like the guy's dressed like a freaking pirate or something. Like, like.
Yeah, I remember the band Kiss. They were the ones that had the makeup. That's my first concert I ever went to. Wore that makeup.
I tell you, I remember that was such a big deal because they wore makeup. Nobody saw them without makeup. Remember
exactly.
That? And then they came out without the makeup in
yep.
What was it, 82, 83, something like that. They came out and did an album without the makeup, and I was like, ew, put the makeup back on. Put the makeup back on.
It looks so much better. You guys look horrid and ugly with that makeup on.
Put the makeup back on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but they got more play than anybody, and I'm like, really? Oh my God. No, put the makeup back on.
That was the big thing back then, the Kiss shows. I remember them. And then,
yes, remember? And then the whole, if you play a Kiss album backwards, it's
the devil.
Yeah,
the devil and all that stuff. Yep.
I about died laughing. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Oh, no, it's the devil. Oh, God. My mom was like, I don't believe that crap.
Yeah, throw your Kiss records out. Remember, there's some song that says that. I threw my Kiss records. I can't remember the song.
Yeah. I used to hang out with the kid when I was in high school. It wasn't like we didn't hang out every day, but it was like, weekend friends,
Yeah.
It was like his name was Brian, and he was the biggest Kiss fan ever, right?
Right.
And he would like, oh, you guys gotta come over and like hang out. Like we went to you know, go to his house to get him to go to a party, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we're in his room, and it's me and another girl and another guy looking around, going, okay. The dude had so many Kiss posters that you couldn't even see any paint on the wall.
Oh
And
my God.
and he had all these Kiss albums. He had every Kiss album out, right?
Right.
He had some in the original, like the plastic had never been
Right. Not
opened.
even open. Gotcha.
And then he had a set for playing,
Right.
And at that time, what was it? Nobody was listening to vinyls anymore,
Right.
They were listening. We were, because it was the beginning of the 90s. We had to
Yeah,
have
CD. CD was the big thing.
You either had a CD or you had the tape or you had
Yeah.
both.
I think it
And
went to vinyl, tape, and then CD.
Yep. And that was just when you were going into a lot of CD. Most people
Right.
had nothing but CDs.
Yeah, the CDs came out like 85, 80, 84, 85-ish, I believe.
But the vinyls, man, because they would scratch and shit. But this kid had the vinyls, and he's like, okay, I'll be right back. I have to talk to my mom and dad. listen to this Kiss
I like how
album.
you say that. I'm going to talk to my mom and dad. You did that pretty well.
He was like, and the thing is, it didn't hit us that, hey, this dude is 20, right?
Right.
This dude is 20 and living at mom and dad's. But, he was best friends with a dude that was like our age, Well, that is weird because the kid that was his best friend that we were hanging out with was younger than us. So, I mean,
Wow.
we were all different ages, but the thing is, we were laughing because it's like he was the oldest one out of all of us going, hey, Rose, good to see you, sweetie. Happy 4th.
Was he the one that used to buy beer for you?
No.
Was he the one that had the ID?
Oh, no, no. Oh, that ID. Well, when I had to, oh my God. I never was asked for an ID.
You remember back then when drinking was 18, you could buy beer when you're 18. Remember that?
No, because they didn't
You don't remember that?
Not in this area.
Okay, well, I was in New York at the time. You could buy
Yep.
beer at 18 back then. They changed the law like 1990 or something.
Well, what they did in the, because I live in the breadbasket. Because, I mean, I lived in Kansas when they changed the law to 18.
Right.
And that only lasted for a year.
Wow.
And then they changed it back to 21. So, it's always, it was 21 when I was in high school. So I'd just like wear a leather mini skirt, pile on the makeup, do my hair.
Yeah. Pretend you're 25, right?
Like, oh man, I left my ID at the babysitter's. Oh, can you help me?
You just all you gotta do is just sweet talk them with a smile, and then you got your
feels
beer.
like all you have to do is wear a mini skirt and a push-up bra.
A little flash, flash. Push it up a little higher.
Show a little bit of that bra.
They're gonna forget all about the damn ID.
I tell you though, it's so funny. I go to get out of the car and like my friend she wasn't going to pass for 21. She's sitting there pulling my shirt down and then she's trying to hike my skirt up. And I'm like, you're fucking pimping me out for beer, you bitch.
Damn.
Oh, so good to see you guys. But we do that on the weekends or whatever. But this guy, it's like, I think we had we had some alcohol, and then I had a gallon of tequila. I didn't have a gallon.
Oh my God.
A gallon of Jose. One of those glass gallons.
Yeah, the Quavo.
Yeah, I had a gallon of that, and we drank on that for 2 weeks.
It's called to kill ya. It's not tequila. It's to kill ya.
Yeah, we
were taking the worst hangover the next day.
We were taking shots of that, and the reason I know he was 20 because he wasn't 21 yet. I would get my sister. See, I had older siblings, so I always had a hookup somewhere. Like,
Hookup.
a hookup.
We all had hookups. I remember.
You always had somebody like
Yeah.
somebody who could buy it, but
Yep.
that particular thing my sister bought for me, this big old gallon thing, and we ran out of everything else, right? And we were doing shots of tequila.
Now, how many of there were you with that gallon? That's a
Um,
lot of tequila.
2 weekends, at least 5 people.
Okay. I can
But
see that being. If it was just you or one other person, I'd say, okay, that's a little bit too much there, Ginger.
you might have a problem, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have a problem.
The thing is, we had to always hide it because her mom was a nurse, where we go party at her house because her mom was always gone. Her mom was a nurse. So, we knew she'd sniff it out some, you know what I mean?
Right.
And my mom was a drug and alcohol dependency counselor.
Oh, wow. Come home to a tequila party. That wouldn't be right.
So I'd be like, yeah. She knew I was spending the night at my friend's house. No big deal, right?
Right.
And then she's like, okay, you're a teenager. You're probably going to drink. Just don't get carried away. That kind of thing. But if she knew, like, I had a gallon of tequila.
If you know what you were doing, your ass would be grass.
Well,
Get the belt out. You got to give her 3 lashes.
Well, my other cousin, Joe, he would buy me stuff too, right? And so I had this slide up in my closet, where my closet was, the hot water heater was right there. So there was a door, and I would hide all these filled bottles of alcohol. Like I had a fucking
stash?
Yeah, I had a stash in there.
Damn.
And I'd close that, I'd slide that down. Well, I don't know how, but my brother spent like the weekend there, right? And I had a stash. And I happened to be working that weekend, and I'm like, oh, you could stay the weekend, because I had
a big mistake. I can see where this is going.
It was a big mistake because my brother had his girlfriend there, and yeah. I'm like,
so much for the stash, right? It disappeared.
He was like, I was like, he goes, yeah, but I go, you better pay me back for that. And he looks at me, he's like, what are you gonna do? Because he's old. I mean, he was 6 years older than me.
Oh, 6 years older. Wow.
I was 19 at the time.
You're 19. He's like 25.
Yeah, he was like 25, and he goes, "What are you going to do about it? It's not like you can tell mom."
Yeah, or you can kick his ass for either one.
I'm like, you motherfucker, and he's like, he. And then also besides that, because there's a no alcohol zone in her house, right?
Wow.
I go to open up my cabinet under my bathroom sink, and all these beer cans come falling out.
That sounds familiar. We did that once at a hotel, filled up the whole bathroom with beer cans. I remember that. Oh, brings back memories.
I'm like, oh my God, how could you do that, man? So I had to try to figure out how I was going to smuggle these beer cans out because I knew she'd be able to smell that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, smell. Plus the noise of them, trying to get them out of there.
Right? Like, what are you doing? Nothing. I had to wait till she went to the store or something to smuggle the damn cans out.
Where did you put the cans? Where did you finally put them? Because if you put them in the trash, you might see them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I always handled the trash, but we had a deck, and I went and hid them under the deck.
That's not very good. You can find them.
No, because it was the backside of the deck.
Right.
So, I mean, and, I did all, she had, there's no way.
But you got away with it, I take it.
Yeah. I also got away with some weird stuff as a kid. Like, God. Well, not as a kid. I was 18, right? So I worked at Burger King, right?
Uh-huh.
And I had these friends that come pick me up and give me a ride home, right? I had no problem. Like, I could always find a ride back and forth. I didn't have to drive, and you know what I mean? You're a girl. You don't have to. Like...
Girls get away with so much stuff. Us guys, we don't get away with half the shit.
No, you don't. No, you don't. So it's like my friends. Like I had a friend. His name was Tim. Right. The dude did not have like an actual job because he made a lot. Like he had a trust account or whatever.
Oh, trust fund.
Well, basically, what it was is, yeah, you're gonna laugh. Remember back in the day of the Guess jeans?
Yeah. So like 75 a pair or something. I remember all the girls would get this one size too small, and they'd put oil on them to get them on their ass.
Yeah, dude, this guy was a guest model, right?
Right.
So he did a lot of like overseas, like he worked over in Europe a lot too.
Right.
So he did this for like 2 or 3 years. And then he had enough money that he didn't really have to do shit.
Wow.
So
Must be nice.
so he had, so him and his friend would come in, and they'd come pick me up, give me a ride home or whatever, just hang out. And then he's like, hey, because he knew I didn't like smoke weed or anything. And
Right.
it's like, oh, come on, you got to try it. So I did. We were going to go to a concert, right? It was weird. I got off early. We were going to go to a concert. I had to stop by Home Change real quick. And when I did that, I brought home these salads, like a stack of 8 Burger King salads. Because like every Thursday you had to throw them away anyway. And anyway.
Right. She just
Okay.
like cleaned house.
So yeah. So I bring home these 8 salads, set them on the table, go and run and change real quick. And my mom was on the phone. She got off the phone, and I told her, well, I'm going to go to the concert with Tim and Bill. And she's like, okay, because they're good kids. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, they're good kids, right? So I had already smoked, right? I was high.
Right.
I was high as a kite.
High as a fun kite. Yeah, I hear it.
I freaking go change my clothes real quick, run out, talk to her for a minute. I start eating these salads. I am there. I was eating the middle of the salads out, like all the meat and shit, pulling the meat
the good
out.
part, just toss the rest of shit. I got you.
I mean, fucking grabbing this and eating it with my fingers, right? Well, and my mom's like, I may have sat down for 5 or 6 minutes because they said I wasn't even in the house for 10 minutes. And I go, I ate like 7 centers out of this salad.
Did you toss the rest?
I go, do you want the rest of it? She goes, sure, just stick it in the fridge. So I stuck him in the fridge. And then I was like, so I guess as soon as I left, she got on the phone with my older sister. And then she says, I think Ginger's anorexic or bulimic. And she goes, I really think she has.
Am I still here? I got some phone call. Somebody tried calling. Let's see. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here. She goes, I think she has an eating disorder because she just ate 8 salads in front of me in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there going, I go back out, and I mean, yeah, because not everybody had a cell phone back then, but my friend Tim had one of those, car phones, a big chunky. He had a cell phone, but you remember those? Or like,
yeah, they call them the brick, so it's a brick.
Yes, he had a brick. And he used it all the time, but it was so funny. I get back out there, and yeah, I come home late that night, and
right.
She's like, but I was like, I told my sister, I got away with it. She didn't know anything, and she goes, no, she just saw you scarf down 8 salads and thought you had an eating disorder.
That's the advantage, when you work somewhere like a food place, you get free food. That's the best thing. Then you get tired. I hear people they get really tired of it.
Hot fries.
I know people that work at McDonald's or somewhere. And you used to get tired of the food. Like they'll go eat somewhere else for lunch. They won't eat where they work.
Yeah. I know I didn't like it. I didn't like eating that.
Right.
I mean, and plus it was the shift I worked on, and back then it's not like you got the food for free. I mean, not that particular manager.
So where did you go for lunch? When you worked at Burger King, did you eat lunch there or did you go somewhere else?
A lot of times I didn't eat lunch. I skipped.
Or you just didn't eat?
I'd skip.
Skip, okay.
I'd skip it. Or if I did, it's like, that's the funny thing. Where it was located, there was a McDonald's in the next lot. But I was like, do I want to go in there with my Burger King uniform on?
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I mean, I only
especially
worked there
full of grease. It's probably all greasy, right?
Right. Oh my God, no. I mean, but when you're a teenager, you work at some of those Fast food places, right?
Right. Yeah, my uncle, he was 2 years older than me. He worked at Wendy's. So he used to bring all the Wendy's home.
Right?
And I worked at some hotel because my uncle was a chef. I worked at the Sheraton. I was like a prep cook. They got me into that job. So I worked like 2 or 3 restaurant jobs before I worked at my job now. But yeah, the restaurant thing was fun because we used to make, what do they call that? Beer batter fish, And
Mm-hmm.
I think I was only about 16 or 17 years old when I was working there. And I'd go, you go get some beer. So they get you a big flask of beer. We'd be drinking it, making the beer batter fish.
Oh, I could remember being like 16, 17 years old working at it was a small chain of sub kind of places. It's like a Subway, but it wasn't Subway.
Right.
Um, it was called Little King. Anyway, they only had them in New York and like Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
And so I worked in that place, and they had I don't know, 20 some locations or whatever. Anyway, so I worked there for 4 or 5 years, you know.
Wow, that's a long time.
I got the job when I was 15.
You're
Yeah.
dedicated.
Oh yeah. I was I mean, I had a crew to the place for a while. No. No, but I can remember going to work there because it was actually there's different towns around, and it was in a neighboring town. It was 8-10 miles away, right?
Right.
And I can remember taking my sister would get me Maui, right?
Maui Wowie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I'd bring it, I'd have my little Esprit bag. I'd have my little Esprit bag with my little girl or lady stuff in it, change of clothes, go in there, change my
one
clothes.
nighter.
Yeah, change my clothes.
One night bag.
I changed my clothes real quick for work, because and because I would go to work after school, so I'd have that all packed.
Right.
And I mean, I had that big old, I'd have a fifth of Maui just stuck in there and go to work. And then I put some of that in there and get some Sprite and stick it in a cup, drink it. Not a smart move because
No.
not a smart move, especially when I was, because those delis, right? You're working with meat slicers.
Yeah, the meat slicers, those things are dangerous.
Right? It's I'd always be like, I can't clean the meat slicer. I'm under 18.
Or you're high on Maui Wowie. I ain't touching the meat slicer.
No, it was Maui, bottle, the alcohol Maui.
Oh, Maui. I thought you were talking Maui weed.
No,
So there's actually an alcohol named Maui? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a fruit punch kind of shit. It's like a red, it's called Maui. And it comes in you can get it in the red or the blue.
Okay.
Hawaiian Maui. It's a frou-frou drink.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
No, that was around the days of when Everclear was, cool.
Do you remember Zima? Do you remember those?
Oh my God.
That was the real big thing, Zima.
My sister wasn't a big drinker, right? Ever.
Right.
Or she drank, she just didn't have, she was a lightweight, right?
Right.
And she'd be like, oh my God, I'm so drunk. I drank 2 Zimas.
2 Zimas. Well, I can't get you 2 lit. I think I drink about 4 of them.
Oh, but I'm like, 2 Zimas? Really?
They're really sugary. It's almost like drinking 7-Up with a hint of alcohol. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh my God. That's what it was tasting like. It tasted and you couldn't hardly ever taste the alcohol in it sometimes.
No. It's like sugar.
Oh my God. It's like a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my God, I'm such a slut. I had 2 Zimas. That's what was hilarious. I'm such a slut. I had 2 Zimas and I made out with this guy.
Yeah. It's like I'm popular. I got 2 Zimas.
Well, I was like,
what do you got?
Like, I drank 2 Zimas. I made out with this guy. I'm like, why are you comparing with me here? I mean, you're the thing is, she was 20 something, right? I'm like, she was 9 years older than me. I mean,
oh my God.
it's like, you're such a loser. You're such a loser.
Sounds like a valley girl, from California.
Yeah,
It
but
reminds me of.
that's what she was about. Like, you're such a loser. Ah, see, if you were blonde like me, like,
Was she blonde, had big boobs, or what was she?
blonde, probably C cup.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, it was funny though for her to be like, I'm competing with when she was 25. I'm competing with the 16-year-old girl who's not even wanting to date anybody. No.
Well, that means that she was jealous of you, Ginger, right off the bat.
Oh,
Jealous bitch. She was a jealous bitch.
oh well, it was because she really didn't have a lot of friends. So it was like kind of like I was her friend, you know? I'm
Right.
like, compete with my sister. I'm like, oh God, you're such a dork. You're such a dork. I was like, hey, dork, I'll let you hang out with me if you buy us some booze.
There you go.
Hey, Captain Kangaroo, how you doing? But that's what it was like. I mean, we know how those days went.
Well, for us, we used to have this thing that was called a Long Branch Road. It was like a lake, in New York.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
It was in the lake, and then all the high school people every like Friday night they'd have a party. There'd be like fucking 10 or 20 kegs of beer.
Oh,
And
wow.
back then, you could actually get away with drink driving. The cops didn't bother you. You got 100 people driving home drunk, and one of them would crash a car. But it was pretty lenient back then. Now, if you did that, they'd all be in jail.
No kidding. We did. I mean, none of us did any of that. We had somebody um, who never drank, right?
Right.
When he just didn't, so he would drive any of us if we needed to go get something. He would drive us. So it's just because he didn't like alcohol. He didn't like
Right.
the taste of it. He didn't like the feeling of it. So I remember it was not. I mean, it was the first weekend we had that bottle of tequila, right?
Right.
His girlfriend, he brought her over. And we were teasing him because he's my cousin, he's like my fourth cousin, but that's still too close. We were joking about how, he got this girlfriend and she was all fucked up. Like they came in the door and she was wasted.
Right.
Right. And then like, I hope you don't plan on like hooking up with her, like,
Right. Right.
because that kind of wouldn't be right, Oh no plans of that, So they go and she's like, I'm not feeling so good. So we're in the kitchen and they're in the living room. Shut up the light. He lays down on the couch. She lays on top of him, right? Not anything dirty. She just lays on top of him. And next thing we know, we hear him going, oh God, oh, right? We go, so we jump up. I mean, we were taking shots. I think we were playing like some card game where we were taking shots. Come running in there. And we flip on go to turn on the lamp light. And what's wrong? What's wrong? And he goes, she just peed on me.
Golden showers party.
She was on me fully dressed, zonked out. She peed all over him.
Oh my God. That's a mess to clean up.
And I'm freaking out. I was like, you can't wake her up? Because when he went and picked her up, she was wasted.
Wow.
He didn't expect her to be drunk. I think they only dated for like 3 weeks or whatever, but she was always wasted.
Right.
And it's like, wow, that's not, but she had peed on him. I pretty much, I think that's the end of a date.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, unless you like that sort of thing, but yeah, most people would say, fuck that shit.
I have never peed on, I will say, as a teenager or a young adult, I had never peed on a guy.
I don't think
never
I've been peed on yet either, so knock on wood.
And I've never peed on a date.
There's a big thing when you're dating back then. I remember, when when you first meet your girlfriend, you're afraid to go to the bathroom and let them hear you pee. I remember there's a big thing back then.
Right.
Because I went in the bathroom and I peed once. One of the girls I was going out with, there was like a new thing or whatever, maybe a week or two. She goes, I heard you pee. I heard you pee. It's like a big thing. I heard you pee. It's like weird. Compared to nowadays, they don't care if you fucking piss. They piss on live stream nowadays. Back then, it was a big thing back then.
Right.
The girl hears you pee.
Oh, God forbid. God forbid she'd hear you that tinkle.
Yeah, the tinkle. I heard you. I'll never forget it.
I remember going on I don't like those blind date things, but we used to go to these concerts and stuff, right?
Right.
And my friend, I mean, she was this short, like pudgy looking, just but she got the guys.
Right.
I was never trying to pick anybody up. Um, but here she is. Oh, I got to get with this guy. I was like, dude is like 5 foot tall. Like
Really?
I could stick that dude in my pocket.
Holy shit! 5 foot tall for a guy? That's really short.
She was like 5'3", and he was shorter than her.
No way.
Oh my
Like a
god!
midget date.
Yes, and it was it was so funny because he thought he was so fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
I think where did we meet? We met him at one of the God, I can't even remember the name of the band that was at the place because it was one of those club kind of things, and
Right.
they were promoting their record. Remember that? God, my name is Humpty.
Oh, Humpty. That was
When the
that
Humpty, that
Humpty Dumpty Doo, whatever that black
yeah,
song.
that was
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was that group that
Yep.
was
I can't remember who
performing.
sings that.
Um, uh, we were there that night. They were they were the entertainer, or they were the show that night.
Right.
And this guy is like, he thinks he's all little fly white guy or whatever, walking up to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he comes up and he actually taps me and starts talking to me. And I'm looking down at this little dude. Like I'm an
What can you
Amazon.
do down there, brother? What can you
I'm like,
do?
I was like, I was like 5'11", about 120 pounds. I'm looking down at this dude, and I'm thinking, I could stick this guy in my
Oh,
pocket.
you're pretty skinny. 5'11" to 120.
At that time.
Holy shit! Wow.
I was a beanpole, and
You must have knocked it. You must have knocked it out of the park with the guys.
I ran away from the, not that I was gay. I was just like, I want to deal with. That's it, Digital Underground. That's who it was. But
Okay.
he comes up and he's like trying to be all slick and everything, and I'm like, oh god, this is a slime wad. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was okay. How do I was always that girl that was like, oh, that's nice. If somebody tried picking me, I wasn't snobby, but I was like, I knew when you're a creeper.
Yeah, the creepers.
I was like, that's
Stay
nice.
away from that guy.
Yeah, right. I'm like, that's nice. And my friends like jump between us and like, how you doing? So anyway, he gets her number, which she was living with me, with me and my mom at the time.
Right.
And then they set up this double. I was like, I don't want to go on a double date with this weirdo. And his friend, she goes, it's the safe, remember, because it was the safe thing to do when you went on a first date in the evening. You always took a friend and,
Yeah. Back then, it was like, we don't have texting back then. It was like, do you got a pager number? Or, it was just weird back then.
Yeah, it was like if you went on a date, usually for the first time with somebody like that, you brought your friend and he brought a friend, that's how it was. So we go, they come to pick us up, and he's 5 foot tall. You're going to laugh. Right. His friend was driving, and his friend gets out of the car. His friend was 6'7".
Holy shit.
Oh, no.
Like a tree.
6'9". I'm sorry, he was 6'9".
6'9"? That guy's gonna have a hard time getting a date. You know what I mean? There's only like 1% of the population women are tall.
Yeah, and he goes like this. He's like, so we got along. We weren't like hitting on each other or anything, but we were joking about how stupid they were.
Right.
So we go down to we had some beer or whatever. We went down to this river, like. There was like, it's a party spot, right? Went down to this party spot and we were drinking and we had to go pee. And she starts panicking. I said, well, they're up by the river. They're not going to see it. Just drop trowel and take a bow.
Right? Well, say that again. Hold on.
Drop trowel and take a bow.
I've never heard of that one. That's a new one.
So she's like, oh, No, I don't, like, and then I don't want him to see me squatting. I'll go behind
Oh, that's a big thing back then, pissing in front of your date. I mean, it was a really big deal. See, you got another story here.
So I turned around and I told her, I said, well, I got to go pee too. There's some bushes over there. She goes, yeah, but those bushes are mighty skinny. I said, whatever bush that's not provided by God himself, we can provide. Let's go.
Right. Right.
I go, they just see a couple of girls squatting behind some bushes. They're gonna know what's going on.
Yeah,
And
it's not like they had cell phones back then where they can record you and put you on YouTube. It's no
Right.
big deal back then.
And I would have laughed my ass off if it happened. So I was like, I wasn't worried about it. I'm like, I'm not here to impress anybody. Then his friend said something to her or whatever. She walks up because she thought she was Barney Badass. What is it with these little chicks? What is it with the little chicks? She walks up and starts pointing at his stomach, right?
Right.
Because like her eyes were at his belly button, I swear.
Oh my God.
And their eyes were at his, she was like looking up at him, yelling at his belly button.
You just have to see it. You have to have a picture of that. It'd be funny.
And the guy was so nice. He was like a gentle giant type of person,
Right.
I think he was a little light in the loafers, but but that was cool. Not my business. But he was a nice guy, and I was like, why is she flipping out on him? But but I think it's because she was kind of a hoe.
I wonder if anybody in the chat has any stories they can tell. Just type it in there. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah. You have these stories, digital underground, Hit the Humpty. Hit the dump. Yeah. I didn't even want to.
I'll have to Google that and see if I can find it real quick. Humpty Dumpty dance.
Yeah. Everybody do the Humpty.
The Humpty.
What is a Humpty?
There it is. Humpty dance. There it is. Yep. Yeah, Texas was right.
You behaved till 37.
Let's see if I can play just a second of it.
Yep.
Humpty. I forgot all about this guy. That's a good trivia question. I would have never known. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then we were trying to explain it to my friend that, she's like, not only that, they also did that song, Doing the Butt.
Oh, yeah, Doing the Butt. Yeah. That was really popular.
And then she's sitting there moving her butt, and I'm like, dude, you're advertising. And then she's like, what do you mean?
Do it in the butt. Bend over, baby.
I was like, honey.
We'll put it where the sun don't shine.
It's like, dude, do you not realize what that's all about? And then she's like, we had to explain it to her. I thought, I was like, and you're a straight A student. Okay.
Wow. She must have been a prude.
I was like, the world is doomed. Drinking and smoking wasn't allowed in our house.
Really?
You know what? I swear sometimes they think you grew up in Footloose. The movie Footloose.
Yeah.
No dancing either. No smoking, no drinking, no dancing.
71 says, I behaved until I was 37 years old. I didn't do anything wrong.
I was a good kid. I ate all my peas.
71, you must have been a really good girl. That's all I can say.
She's making up for it now. No.
Yeah. So what is 71 doing now? Let's hear all about it, 71. Type it in the chat.
She just waited till 37 and then she started getting in barroom brawls. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my God, I did have that happen. Oh. Yeah, your mom did work a lot.
But if she worked 2 or 3 jobs, you had the whole house to yourself, 71. You could have had some parties.
No, she couldn't. She had older siblings too.
Stuck in the woods.
Mm-hmm. They live out in the country.
Oh, I see.
So her mom, yeah.
So antisocial, way out in the country. Okay, I got it.
Well, yeah, you would be antisocial.
Yeah, yeah. Your neighbor's like a mile down the road. Yeah, can I borrow some sugar?
Just let me go. And then you wouldn't want to walk that mile because there's bears.
Right.
Like, "Rrr." And probably dogmen too. Rrr.
Right.
Look at her. Oh my. I don't even know. Look. See if that would.
I got to get running pretty soon.
Yeah, it's been nice talking to you, Will.
I got to run. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Well,
But it's
go
been great
eat.
coming on your show. I really appreciate it, Ginger,
Thanks.
for having me up. I'd
Yeah.
like to come on again one of these other days. I'll get some type of topic we can do.
Yeah.
Like
No
all that
kidding.
same type of stuff,
Yeah, you got to come on with some chemtrail stuff.
Yeah, well, the chemtrails is like part of it. Just throwing that up there for now. I do all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the UFO chemtrails, the target individuals. It's all kinds of. You can pick anything you want. I know pretty much about a little bit of everything.
I don't know if you know Just Me, but Just Me had a stream a while back where she was able to pull up and she showed me what link it was. I can't remember right now. I think I saved it to my phone, but where it would show you the flight patterns.
Right.
And it showed, what was it, a few months ago when those objects got shot down?
Right.
And it was showing the different, how they showed, how it was just cool. Like, here's these planes and here's like where the objects were. You right?
Right.
And they blipped, but they didn't blip the same as a plane did, and it was
Right.
it was freaking cool as hell. Which
I'm looking at the YouTube and my main moderator, she's at a bar getting drunk right now. She's live. She's never gone live in her life. I don't know what the hell's going on. I can't believe she's live. She's right down the street from me. Oh my God. She never does a live. That's crazy. Her and her girlfriend are live at a bar. She never goes live. It's like a one-time thing. I can't believe it. I should share it in your show. Yeah, she wouldn't mind. They're all getting drunk and eating.
Oh no, it's the 71. That's not bipedal. But the story of what happened, I think, in most of my research, they say 82. There's only one account that says 1983, where there was a family that went camping in early spring at LBL, in between the lakes. Oh yeah, and we have tracked them. There's different accounts of this, but what it comes down to is there was a family of 4 that were in a coach or RV, and they were camping on a side of LBL that nobody else was in that camping area at that time, because of it being early spring. Anyway, now I've heard different accounts because supposedly there is an eyewitness that was there. Thanks for popping in. Well, it was fun. When it happened, and then in other accounts, it's 2 people came by and cited it. But either way,
see you. Ginger, I
this
gotta
family was camping there, and at that time, you have to tie down.
Bye. Love you.
Things out
Love you
on
too.
the camper. And the family was out there. The son, who was, I think they said 11, 12 years old, and the father were out doing this while the mother and the 9-year-old daughter were inside. And up from a ravine across the road came this hairy creature. And we're talking like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so they could see it. And it came right at them. And literally, I guess, took the head off the dad, just tore this family apart. When the police and rescue and all that came and showed up, they found the girl, the daughter. They didn't even realize at first that there was a third member because they found the first 3, but then they noticed a little girl's dress hanging in the camper. And they went looking, and by that time it was dark. And I guess the officers were out with the big flashlights and everything. And one officer had felt like wet raindrops or something coming down on him, on his hat, and just wiping his forehead off. And then the other officer said, "Hey, you got blood all over you." And they look up, and there's in the crotch part of the tree, in the branches, was the body of the little girl with still with her socks on. And she had been gnawed on. And when the coroners came out, they said this wasn't done by a big cat. It wasn't done by a bear. They said it was something with big incisors. And they narrowed it down. It had to be some type of canine, but they couldn't figure out how in the hell there was a canine that big. It'd be like a dire wolf kind of size. Right? Oh, you guys. What do you think? What do you think? Anyway. We have anything going on outside? Because we got all sorts of fireworks tonight. And it's the full moon. We're all hiding from the full moon. What time is it? Oh. Anyway, I hate to end this, but I'm going to go ahead and end this because the 3rd season of The Witcher came out, and I'm a weirdo and have to watch it because I'm in love with Henry Cavill. Yeah, it's 10:05 my time. I gotta watch The Witcher, man. You need to watch The Witcher 71. Oh, it is an awesome show. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out for the night. Watch The Witcher, hanging out with Sage since Nugget left me again.
Where did Nugget go?
She went to spend the night.
At a friend's house?
Uh-huh.
Okay. He's always leaving us.
Right? Always abandoning us, right, Sage?
I have no friends, so...
Yes, you do.
I have no friends that want to hang out with me besides one friend. They're going to take me to the zoo.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side!